Well, welcome everyone. I'm very happy to be co-presenting with Elie Mouzon today of Intelex. We've had exchanges over the years on HSE, CSR, and probably many other acronyms over the years, and the software solutions which Intelex brings to the table. I'll present for about 20 minutes on our interpretation of the draft international standard based on available material from ISO and other sources, as well as discussions with EMS professionals. So very quickly, an agenda for the next little while is taking a look at the key changes, which I think a lot of you online are here to listen to. Take a look at the comparison between the clauses of ISO 14001-2004 and how they line up with ISO 14001, what will be 2015, as what we have on hand right now is the draft international standard, and I'll get to that in just a second. We'll take a look at the major chapters in the standard, the transition schedule, which is of interest to those companies that are currently certified to ISO 14001 or registered to it, and we'll be looking to perhaps stay with the standard, perhaps not, but it's good to understand what the schedule for that is. And then we'll take a fast look at minimum document solutions, as there's some ambiguity around that in the draft international standards. That'll be followed by Elie, who will talk about the Intelex solution for some period of time, and then after that we will have an opportunity for questions and answers. So back to the overview. One of the major things, I guess, about the changes to ISO 14001 are, well, there are two. There are two what I would call overarching changes, and then there are 5 what I would call more thematic changes. If you read some of the information online and from wherever else, what other your other sources might be of information, people bandy about 5 to 10 major areas of change. We've reduced it to 2 major overarching changes and what I call 5 thematic changes. The first, of course, is the new document structure for ISO management system standards. This is something that had been in the works for a number of years, and it will apply to the quality management system, ISO 9001, to ISO 14001, as well as to ISO 45001 when it comes into effect in 2016. That will be the standard that will replace the OSAS 18001 Occupational Health and Safety Management System standard. The second overarching change is a broader definition of the environment. In 2004, environment was really addressed with the concept, if you will, of an organization with a fence line. Inside of the fence, there was a potentially polluting organization or an organization with activities that had impact on the environment. And the standard was really arranged or conceived around the idea of how do those emissions or activities of that organization affect the outside environment. Well, it's 2015, or will be, it is now 2015, and the standard is now taking into account a much broader set of considerations for environment, most notably stakeholders, and the idea that the environment may actually have an impact on the organization and not just the vice versa.
But 3 main aspects I want to stress here, again, are the compliance, the risk, and the performance aspects, things that we see in every standard, but also in every management system. And these are really the 3 steps, I would say, for a proper sustainability performance management system. If we zoom in and just look at the compliance assurance piece, the way Intelex organized this is through a funnel. And pretty much what we do is we funnel down all this, those thousands of regulations and standards and policies that your organization might be surrounded by, and then into a set of what we call global requirements. And those global requirements is whatever is applicable to your organization. And from that, using applicability analysis tool, we can even funnel it down to a subset of those global requirements that are actually applicable for each of your location within your organization. So if you have a multi-jurisdictional type of organization, if you're in have different locations, different countries of the world, now you have a clear view through the Intelex system, through this funnel that we designed within our application to what is applicable to each of my location, and therefore better handle the ISO 14001 legal register, for example. From those locally applicable requirements, you can design tasks and monitoring activities. If you apply the risk management principles to this compliance assurance model, you can also imagine to narrow down this funnel to only what is high risk to you, or or what you really need from a risk perspective to handle. And that's even what we do, we allow you to do, is to perform risk assessment at any stages within that funnel. So this is how we design our compliance assurance. In a nutshell, this is a workflow. We get regulatory content either from public sources or from our external content providers, so partners that we work with, such as RecScan, ENISA, or BNA, or STP. And those partners can actually provide us the citation, regulatory text, the one that we push in our applicability analysis tool, and we associate those with the permits that you have and the conditions within those permits, and we get a legal register, your location applicable requirement, and that list is where you're going to set up your compliance task, manage them through their life, and then also assess the level of compliance and monitor it through audits. Maybe you're going to have findings that can lead to non-conformances and potential corrective and preventive action. So that's pretty much the whole, I would say, workflow through our compliance assurance model. And this model applies perfectly to the ISO 14001-2015, but also to any standard that is upcoming on health and safety or the one for quality.